Wow. Hi, I'm Michael Elliott, and in preparing for this graduation speech for the 100th graduating class of Jenks High School, I thought it would be interesting to look back and see what was going on in 1909. So I cracked out my history textbook, and guess what? Nothing happened in 1909. Isn't it great to live in 2009? I'd like to thank the school board, the administration, the faculty and teachers, and most importantly, my Lord Jesus Christ for the opportunity to speak to you tonight. And I'd like to thank all the seniors. Class of 2009, you've made this year incredible. As you go out, your reputations will precede you because of what you've accomplished at Jenks High School. Seniors, it's been an honor serving as your class president. A story that illustrates our journey through high school and beyond happened last summer when my family visited Mount Rainier in Washington State. If any of you have ever visited there, it is a spectacular display of God's creation. One afternoon, we decided to the top. As we started up that mountain, my whole life flashed before me. After we had climbed for a while, I looked back down the mountain at the foothills. I pictured all those experiences I'd had in grade school and junior high. We graduates were just learning to walk then, but now we're climbing. Those struggles seemed so hard at the time. Not making the school basketball team, or getting looked over for a part in the musical, or not getting an invitation to a classmate's birthday party. But you know what? Now I see that those were the flatlands. That was easy going compared to what we'd face in high school. As our family walked up the mountain, I could see that my dad was beginning to experience the effects of the altitude. He was sucking air. He kept saying, "You guys go on ahead, I'll catch up," as he struggled to gain his breath. So my brother and I went on ahead. When we were younger, he never would have let us out of his sight. Parents, I know it's tough for you right now. Even if you wanted to, you couldn't stay up with your kids. My mom has joked that she'd like to take a class next year at OU and get the dorm room right next to mine. But that just won't work. Parents, as difficult as it is, I want to thank you for trusting us as we begin to cut new trails in our lives. Your support as we make this next step is crucial as we gain our independence. For many of you in the audience, it may seem like just yesterday that you left your parents to begin your own journey. But for us, the seniors, that day is today. As my family continued up the mountain that afternoon, at one point I found myself surrounded by clouds. The clouds were so thick on that mountain that I could barely make out my brother, who was standing 15 feet away from me. There was a whole peak up there, and we couldn't even see it. But it was there. In the same way, there have been times in high school when it was just like being in those clouds. My goals were fuzzy, and I needed to take time to refine them and to reestablish my focus. I really thought I was going to get to the top of the mountain that day, but that mountain was 14,411 feet above sea level, and I was only at 8,000 feet. I would have needed oxygen and special gear to make that climb to the summit. It wasn't going to happen in the shorts and tennis shoes I was in that day. For us graduates, this is also true. We need more equipment if we're going to be the doctors or lawyers or teachers that we dream to be. Some of us will get that extra equipment in college, and some will go to technical school. Still others of us will join the armed forces or enter the world of work. And others will get the equipment in the school of hard knocks. Whatever the method, the lesson is to get equipped, to be a lifelong learner, always increasing our knowledge and striving to be the very best at whatever we're called to do. That day, there were a lot of people who went a lot further up the mountain than we did. All we could manage was a friendly smile and a wave as they hiked past us. They were clearly better equipped and knew what they were doing. But you know what? I'm sure they would have helped us climb higher had we only asked. Life is like that. We must find those who are better equipped and learn from them. Find a mentor who will lead you on up the mountain. Someone who will equip you, who will show you your weaknesses so that you can make them your strengths, and who will hold you accountable for your actions. Having a teachable spirit overcomes the limitations that can keep us from reaching our destination. For any serious mountain climber, the goal is to reach the summit. For a few brief moments that day on Mount Rainier, the clouds lifted and we were able to see the summit. Snowy, spectacular, and awe-inspiring, it was set atop a treacherous track. But if it were easy to reach the top, would it really be worth going for? For those of us graduating today, glimpses of our life's summit don't come often. We may catch a glance every once in a while, but the view is mostly cloudy at best. We must never lose sight of the path in front of us, which eventually leads to the summit. Some of you here tonight in the audience are nearing your life's summit. All those dreams and aspirations you had when you were young, some have been realized and others were not meant to be. We graduates here tonight are still in the lower altitudes. Figuratively and literally, you're all looking down on us tonight from a higher vantage point. We have begun our climbs and we're ready to move into the less forgiving terrain. You can be guides to those of us who are just beginning our climb. What I cherish most about that day in Washington was being with my family. In the same way, my greatest memories of high school are the people, not the textbooks. My teachers, coaches, classmates. The birthday parties, the games, the dances, that's what I'll take with me. Commencement means the beginning, and after tonight, that's when we'll really start climbing. I'm so proud of what we've accomplished. We've come this far. Now, what do we need to do to continue the success we've already achieved? We must equip ourselves. We must get a guide for the climb, and, most importantly, we must keep on climbing. Along the path to the summit, we'll hit milestones. Going to college or starting work, choosing a career, starting families, and at some point, we'll have to stand for something. As you reach these milestones, be sure to look around you for those you can help along the trail. Ultimately, when we finally stand at the top of that mountain, we'll have the satisfaction of a life well earned. My dream, when I reach the summit of my life, is to hear the words, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." And finally, if the walls of Jinx High School could talk, they'd say that the class of 2009 is full of summit reachers. We know no limits, and today, I challenge you to always be the kind of person who embraces the challenge. We are created to take on challenges. We are made to dream dreams. Fellow graduates of the Centennial class of Jinx High School, the sum of our lives has led to this point. Everything that our friends, our teachers, our parents, all the people who support us, and the heritage and tradition of the 99 classes who graduated before us, everything they have done to build into our lives has led to this point. Now, don't waste it. Keep on climbing. I'll see you guys at the summit. May God bless your journey.